And I wouldn't really necessarily go with most of my normal mates. It'd be people like Carl or like I know some really inspiring characters, definitely.
Could we get into a part of another inspiring story from yours about the when you're in the military? Because I did that. Can you remember when I took us all to Wakefield and we had a chat? You smashed it. I love that. The reason I wanted to put on that night and the reason I got into podcasts is because I love inspirational people. I love cool stories. I love people different. Number one. So you were like on the list. I was like, yeah, Shippo's on. I just think you're fucking wacky but
I
brilliant.
still really like appreciate
you
that.
smashed it, man. You
fucking
smashed it,
amazing that night.
and genuinely, just looking at your Instagram, I really love watching you have a rant or get involved and just say your piece because it's great. It is really great. It feeds me with something. It's like this man's got something to say. He wants to say his piece, and too many people just want to say what other people think. They're always constantly like, I want to be a part of something, so I've got to be in this clique and I've got to say their thoughts. You just go, this is what I think, have this.
It's never been me, that. I don't like the mainstream narrative. I'm dead against following like trends like sheep. It's like my biggest thing.
It puts me off people like you wouldn't believe. I just like, as soon as I'm like, they've started to now like want to be on board with certain things, and that's, excuse the pun, but I'm like, I've noticed they say things to please you or say things to make you feel a certain way. You're like, I know where you're at. I know where you're at. I want real, and you're real. So I'm guessing the army was a big shaping part of your life. I'm guessing it was a huge factor to the shipper I see today.
Yeah. So it's 12 years of my life.
Flipping heck,
so
man.
Was,
There's a story
me.
There, isn't there?
Oh, it's just a bit.
Go.
Yeah. Joined in 2006. Like when Afghan was at its height.
Wow.
And yeah, from the get-go, it was straight out on the front line within a year.
When you joined, like, are you with all nationalities then, like, as well, or
in training?
So training is just the British Army?
No, they do. Every so often, they'll the British Army will travel to say St Vincent, or like Gambia or wherever, and they'll do like little training packages to draw a few troops in from around the world.
Okay, wow,
and they do actually manage to get them like visaed up and passports, and they get them to join.
Sure.
It's when I was a couple of my tours actually, we had groups of St Vincent lads, and they were bang on. Some of them, the others were very lazy and couldn't be arsed off at the time, but a couple of them were really strong, like good characters, and worked hard. Most of them fell asleep all the time on stag and that, but it was good. That
it's funny though when you go around the world and do work, like, because we've got the sort of English attitude to work, like you've got to be on, like, switched on all the time, working hard. I've worked like a hard work ethic, or learnt that, and I went to Australia, and it's so laid back there, it's just ridiculous. And there was one time, it was a hot day, really nice, but I was labouring, and I just went like, we've had a smoko, they call it, so break. And I was like, where's the boss? Like, we should be back on work like 20 minutes ago. And he was just over here asleep with his hat on. And I like nudged him and I was like, should we get back on? Are we supposed to? And he just went, have another 10 minutes. I was just like, fucking brilliant. Yeah. But it is weird. They're like, calm down, the English like work ethic. Just chill.
It's weird, isn't it? Like French people, like everything's really chilled. You know what I mean? Their work ethic compared to the UK. But UK's really fast paced, isn't it? Like everything's like
on the go.
Yes.
So when you've gone in the army, like, what was that transition? Why did you go in the army? What?
From a very early age, I've always like that way inclined, if you know what I mean. I mean, my dad was in the TA, and he used to tell me a few stories and that. But every time I turned around, I'd be picking a like plastic gun up, and I'd be playing tracker with my friends, and I was kind of going down that path. And I left school and did a bricklaying apprenticeship for a couple of years, and then I had a bit of a set to with my college tutor. He kicked my fucking like final work piece. Like,
what?
Yeah, exactly. Like
What
somebody
do you
in charge
mean?
of your assessments and stuff like that.
Kicked it?
Yeah. So I was fucking like, I'm pretty sure it got me kicked out because I was fucking in his face. He probably would have dropped me. He was fucking huge. Yeah, after that, I think it was the week after, I just went up to Notts Recruit Centre and just fucking signed up.
Right.
And then about a month later, I went down and did my 2-day selection thing, and then about a month after that, 6 months training down Catterick.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was mad.
So
I love that.
When you're in the journey, what like is it like? What's the regime like? What's waking up? Your meals? I just want to know, man. I'm really interested in it.
Well, from the get go, they've got to mould you into a soldier from from being a civilian.
Yeah.
They need to beat that out of you.
Yeah.
So straight away, you're abused. You're fucking shouted at. You're turned into like nothingness. You know what I mean? You're their piece of shit to fucking mould into back into something, and they shave your head. Like every day you've got to shave. Like everything's uniform, and everything's got to be done exactly down to the T. You've got to put smiley faces in your socks. Your clothes have got to be A4 shape. If it's a centimetre out, that's all your bed going out the window.
Seriously? Okay.
Your water bottles always, like, there's so much to it, and you get like very short time to eat your food. So that's like, my missus was actually on about it the other day. Why do you eat so fast? It's because it's still drilled into me
in
that
the army,
you've got to get your food down.
What if you don't? They just take it off you.
Well, you've got to get back on parade or whatever.
Wow. Okay.
But yeah, it's just they just break you down. In the army, if you're fit, it's a lot easier. Like if you're a fit lad and you can just shut off, because it's a mental thing, because they push you. Even if you're the fittest bloke on the planet, when you're crawling like through fucking mud and you've been crawling for like fucking 40 minutes straight, your body has nothing left in it, and you just got to keep going with your mind. And it breaks a lot of the lads in the training, and they're the ones that get weeded out and they go. And
really?
and
Do they choose
left,
to go, or do the
most
people
of the time,
they
yeah,
say
but
you're not made for this?
if they're not cutting the mustard, they'll get rid of them.
Right.
But
You were cutting the mustard.
it was fucking. It was hard, but I thrived off it. I really enjoyed training. It was.
Do you have some like the best moments there? Like, can you remember some of the times you're like, I'm really glad that this is what I've gone into?
Yeah. Well, straight away I was just like, I couldn't let anything go by the wayside. Like, I was trying to be the grey man, but I shone out because I was into my fitness and that, and I just like any lesson I tried to be the best like soldier I could be.
Yeah.
And, it was just fucking fantastic. I loved it. That was only training. I mean, when I got to battalion, it bridged out even more. It was mad. Like my first posting was down in London, like Palace Barracks, and we did Queen's duties and stuff like that.
Oh.
And like some of the lads hated it, and I fucking marching around in your number like 2 outfit. Like, and like, the Queen's there, and
did you feel a lot of like pride in that?
Oh,
were you just completely
like Tower of London, like marching around and doing
the Queen was there as well then when you're doing
St.
it?
James Palace and stuff like that. Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
man,
like, you
that's
did like line the street for the Queen's like Jubilee and all sorts of. It was mad. Like I loved it. Like walking around Tower of London and doing the Keys Parade and that. It's a 4-year waiting list to see that Keys Parade as a civilian. And you was doing it like every night on Stag. You just had to go up and like, and then walked over with a lantern and whose keys? The Queen's keys, and you're marching along, and yeah, it was surreal.